award-winning Tennessee WildCast is on the air with the latest on hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. Make welcome your host, drummer and outdoor expert novice, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this edition of Tennessee WildCast. We're glad you're tuning in. We got a great show lined up for you today here at the Holston General Store at the Region 4 office in Morristown, Tennessee, and I appreciate Matt lining this one up too. I'm excited to talk squirrel hunting.
Yeah, buddy. I've got some dear friends of mine here today that are serious squirrel dog hunters, which is a whole other facet of squirrel hunting, and they're the only ones that has ever taken me and want to share that experience with people and hopefully encourage them maybe to want to try this for themselves.
Yeah. Well, we have David and Glenda Phillips with us, and we appreciate y'all being here, and we have Itzy Bitzy, right?
Yep.
Come on up here, Itzy Bitzy. There she is. If you got the camera turned there, she's joining us today, and we'll see what she has to say, if anything. And I look forward to this conversation. It's all about squirrel hunting and squirrel season and dog hunting along with that. You want to go ahead and tell them what the seasons are for squirrel, Matt?
Yeah, sure. Squirrel season opened on August 27, and it runs through March 15th now, so it's been extended a couple weeks than the traditional closing date, which used to be the last day of February, and you're allowed 10 per day, so there's lots of opportunities to get out and enjoy squirrel hunting, which is not something that a lot of people do anymore since deer and turkey and big game hunting became more popular the past few decades. Squirrel hunting and small game hunting has kind of went down a little bit, so I'm hoping this will encourage people to get out and enjoy small game hunting because it's so social. You don't have to sit still, get a kid to be still and quiet and freeze them to death, and this is boring. You know, you get to talk and be loud and have a good time and tromp through the woods. So my good friends are here gonna tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, let's jump right in. Let's talk. Let's let David, if you want to start, tell us how you got into squirrel hunting and just kind of how you grew up in the outdoors. I'm sure it wasn't overnight.
No, I come from a long family of hunters, coon hunting, fox hunting, you name it. Plus, my mom and dad both. Dad was born in 1918, Mom 1919. They lived through the Depression, and hunting and fishing was not a way of life. It was to live. And I brought my grandfather's hunting license from 49 and 50, so we've been into it a long time. And we first shot competition rifles, then we shot competition bows, and we had sponsors, and we've deer hunted and grouse hunted. I guess that was the first date we ever went out on. I took her grouse hunting with my dog. And
that's awesome.
Me and her spent a lifetime of hunting together, and then we started on the squirrel hunting, and as I said in the other video, my nephew wanted one. She had a miniature collie, and it would do anything, and it would tree squirrels. And we took and got my nephew's dog and trained him up a little bit. And then after that, I went over to Dave Savage's and picked up this dog from David. He said out of the hundreds he'd raised, that was the first one with blue eyes. And that's how I got started. Then I went down to Chuck Swan. They had the youth hunt. David said, you ought to come try it. So I came down, and once a year, the game wardens fixed their little snack for breakfast, and then a big lunch, and we went out and we took different kids hunting and let them get their first squirrel. And it's just so awesome to see them kids. And as Matt, said, they don't have to stand still. They don't have to do nothing. I look over here, and he's beating, running up and down the log and whatever, and the dog's treat. And then we go, and, it's more the mom and dad, they want the kid to do good, but it takes a lot of pressure off the whole outfit by not having to do that.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So, Glenda, you all grew up I guess y'all have grown up hunting together. I mean, y'all started first date in the woods. What's that like? Did you grow up hunting as well?
To a certain point, yeah. And we just like the outdoors.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. To do it with your best friend, right?
Yes.
Soon be February the 5th. We've 35 years. Can't say that we ain't had ups and downs, but we've made it through it. And to be honest with you, hunting and fishing, you can be mad as the devil, then when you go out hunting and fishing and get out there and you forget it all.
Yeah.
So February the 5th, 35 years, we've let hunting and fishing kind of keep us together.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's awesome. That's cool.
So they both came out on my video that dropped the tailgate that I do, and probably the most viewed one that I've done was with David and Glenda, and came over to my place a couple years ago and ran Itzy Bitzy, and we killed several squirrels that day. Could have killed several more. It's not all about how many you can take. It's just about the experience as a whole, and I think I tried to buy that dog from him that day and figured out pretty quick my pockets aren't deep enough.
Yeah.
So she's exceptional.
Yeah.
You've had several people approach you wanting to buy that dog, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had several people approach, and I was offered a lot for her. After the video came out, I was offered a lot. But again, when the best thing about squirrel hunting is, you go out squirrel hunting with a gun by yourself. You sit still and the squirrel starts cutting nuts. You see him. When the dog trees it, till he hears you, the people coming, it'll stay low, but then it will hide. And the best part about it is finding it. She's the greatest I ever seen. But like a squirrel will go up under scaly bark hickory bark. They'll get down lay on top of a big limb. And really, to be honest with you, once it's treed, finding it is the exciting part.
Yeah. They camouflage really well up in there.
And to beat it all, it sounds, but I was told that, and it's the truth. The little ear is triangle. Look for their ear, and you'll see a squirrel faster looking for his ear than you will his whole body, because that little ear will stick out everywhere.
Wow, I hadn't heard that. That's cool.
It is. And so tell us, there's squirrel hunting, there's steel hunting, or sitting and watching for them, whatever. Well, the dog is a whole other game. How did y'all get into the dog hunting? Was it with the little, would you call it a collie?
Collie, miniature collie, yeah.
Is that the first?
Yeah, but we never did. We never did hunt it.
Okay.
It just done it, and then when we got in with this one, we seen how exciting it was, and training it. I tell you, it's just like a kid. You got a kid playing football or something, and each time he plays, he gets a little better, a little better. It's the same way with a dog. David and Eddie O'Dell told me that I could start one quicker and better than anybody they'd seen, but to me, that's the most exciting. Get them started, and then after they tree their first, and let their owner take them hunting. But that's the exciting part for me.
And this, you said Itzy Bitzy came from a line of great dogs.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a history there.
Yeah, me and Mike Purry was hunting together one day, and he was talking about how the old dog behind the barn that never was recognized was the one that you could take a hunting, and you thought you had a good dog, you went with it. Well, David had Cody, and Cody was never recognized really, or never competitive hunted. This dog is a descendant of David's Cody dog. Eddie O'Dell's Cool Whip, he is a descendant of Cody, and he won the Worlds and won many, many titles. Then one of Eddie's pups, he sold James Barham Dexter, and Eddie's dog was competing against each other for the world championship, and the puppy won. That's a descendant of Cody. Then James Barham's dog produced Ken Nicely's dog, Pig. He won the Worlds.
Wow.
And then last year, Mike Purry's dog, Deuce, was out of Dexter, and that's a descendant of Cody. And he won Dog of the Year and the World both. So this... the Cody bloodline is what amazes me after, we talked about that, is Cody never was recognized, never was competitive hunt, but he is a descendant of all these world champions. And I believe it was the NSD state hunt here about a month ago or something. It was hard to believe, but the top 10 dogs was a descendant of Cody.
Wow.
Goodness.
The top 10 dogs.
And when you talk about this competition stuff, is this is just a series for dogs like Itzy?
Yeah, there's different. There's UKC, NKC, and all that stuff. But what they do is just like a regular squirrel hunt, but you don't take a gun.
Gotcha.
The dog that trees first, gets points. Dog trees second gets less. And then if you see the squirrel, it's plus points. If you don't, it's minus if there's a hole. But it's a like us getting together and going on a squirrel hunt with our dogs, but we don't do no shooting. We just see them and we can tree.
There's just no dumplings at the end.
Yeah.
Now, is that held at the same place every year?
It's outdoor. They hold every place around holds them different. They've been held land between the lakes and different places around. It's usually held somewhere different every year.
Do you competitively hunt her?
We went to have a good time and hunted with some guys from down in Oneida, I believe it was, and Bitzy just on far that day, and she won that morning hunt and the night hunt. And I told them boys I didn't know, like I told you before, I didn't know the difference in a mountain feist and a tree and feist and all that. I just went to have a good time, and she showed out and won.
And she's a mountain feist.
She's just a plain feist.
A feist.
Yeah, I'm just going to say feist. I don't know what she is.
She's a dang squirrel hunting dog.
She's a award winner. Beat them every time. No. Well, that's cool. I've learned a lot here already. I didn't realize.
They're fun to hunt with. If you ever get the chance to come up and go hunting with them, they're in their element.
Just call me, man.
Oh,
we'll never turn anyone down. If you want to go, I promise you.
I'd love it. I'd love it.
They taught me a lot. The first time they came over, squirrels running everywhere is easy. I think we timed it. It was 45 seconds maybe between the time we got done with this squirrel that she had another one treed. I mean, we couldn't keep up. He came back last year, and it was a tough year. And he taught me a lot about looking for squirrels in tough years. Like, to me, a squirrel's looking for a nut to eat all the time. So I didn't even think about like cedar thickets and pine thickets. That's where we found the squirrels at. And he said because they get in there's nothing else to eat but them cedar berries. That's where they were. So just little bitty things like that made the world of difference for me.
Yeah.
That I learned from them.
Yeah. It amazes me the different foods a squirrel eats. I mean, from everything, like the fox squirrels, they'll come over to our persimmon trees, and where the persimmons fell the year before, they'll dig up those seeds and eat those seeds. And a good nut crop is like we have this year is a key sign, but it just amazes me how they tell me they migrate from one till they can find it, because some of the guys ain't treed nothing, and they'll go down to the lake and get in them thickets around the lake where them berries is, and they'll do real good.
Wow. Well, Glenda, you brought a few toys with you, didn't you? Are these David's?
These actually his.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Before we get too far into the toys, she did bring this card right here, and Dave was telling me this is what makes it all worthwhile. I don't know if you're able to see that on there. We'll read it to you. It's from a couple of kids, I'm assuming. Ethan Metz and Seth Metz says, thank you for taking us squirrel hunting. Have a Merry Christmas. So these kids took the time to send them a Christmas card because they enjoyed the hunt that they took them on.
That's awesome.
So never underestimate your impact that you can have on a young generation of kids. Just the simplest thing is taking them out squirrel hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when the old ones is gone, if you ain't got new ones, it's over.
And they didn't have to sit.
Yes. Get them. The kids need to move and talk.
Yeah.
And
That's
laugh.
the great thing about it. You get to move around a little bit. Yep. Well, y'all have definitely made an impact. These toys on the table, this squirrel tail, I'm interested in seeing what that thing does.
We'll start with that. David brought that out of the truck, and I didn't know what in the world he had.
The hardest thing you'll ever do in a squirrel dog is get them to look up. They'll run a squirrel. They'll run him up a tree. Once he runs up a tree, they're done when they're puppies. Well, you can order and buy. These flopping tails for coyote hunting stuff, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
So I come up with these to just hang in the trees around when I got puppies playing with them. This is a remote control car from Walmart. I believe it was $7. You take the rear end out of it and put a spring on the motor part and put the control board in it, and if it works, my batteries is about dead. But anyways, when the dog is going through, when the dog's going through the woods, I got these hanging up in the tree. When the puppy's going through the woods, I turn that on and let it spin. What catches his eyes? See, watch her.
Itzy Bitzy.
Oh, and that is a cheap way. I try to help anybody with anything about a dog they can. I'm not an expert. I guess I was just super lucky to fall into it. But we both have been competitive, and we want to be the best in anything we do. And I come up with that, and I thought, wow, $7, I can make 8 or 10 of them,
Yeah.
And it really helped with the puppies.
Wow.
Is this just an electrical box right here?
Yep, that's just the outdoor box. And then the spring, we get out here.
Tell people what we're looking at here that aren't watching.
People who are listening,
That's the batteries for the motor, and that's the little motor epoxied right there to the side. And I just epoxied a regular spring to it and run it through the cover, drilled a hole and run it through the cover, and that's all you got to have. And
we're going to see it on Amazon for too long. Called the Itzy Bitzy. That's what you could call it.
They said they're, $200 commercially, so he's...
What is that?
He's ready to go.
Getting excited. That's cool. Yeah, if you're listening to this show, make sure you tune in. There's a lot of fun things we're looking at today, and you get to see Itzy Bitzy running around here. So what type of guns do y'all like to use? I see, is this 22 right here?
That is a Charger 22. It's a synthetic wrap barrel and stuff. It weighs very, very little. And Matt and everybody, it's probably one of the accuratest 22s that I have. And every kid in the country about it shot it.
Yeah, it's light as a feather, and you can put them in a dime, stack them in the same hole with this little gun right here. I tried to buy this too, but I couldn't afford it neither. I'm thankful he lets me shoot it.
It's expensive setups here now,
but it's made for hauling up and down ridges, and little dog, little gun. Ammunition's not too bad for a 22. It's just an affordable way to get out and enjoy the woods.
Yeah.
This is how you know your dog's spoiled. We played with the tail. Mm-hmm. Now you bring out the good stuff. What is that? She gets excited when she hears a gun.
Yeah, if she hears a shot, you better have her a squirrel.
Yeah,
don't disappoint her.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what about your tracking devices here?
That's a Garmin Alpha 100, and that's a Garmin system there. They've come out with 200s that's got bigger screens and a lot of that, but that has really, really helped us because it tells where the dog's at, how far away it is, and actually that is a training kit. You can vibrate, you can tone, actually shock them if you want to. Me and Matt was talking, and I came up with one thing was her little dog that she got is a full sister to the Dexter dog. She was really doing good, and we're having problems with coyotes coming into the tree and jumping on the dogs. Well, one jumped on hers and chewed it up pretty good, and I thought, as kids, we would grab the electric fence and grab the other person, and it would shock the other person. So I don't know if I could keep my composure to do it or not, but I thought to have that thing when the coyotes has jumped on your dog and you can't get there, to actually shock the dog to shock the coyotes to get him off.
Wow.
I don't know if it would work like electric fence.
Put this on.
Yeah.
You want me to try that out?
Yeah. You grab Don's hand. I was going to say grab mine, but that wouldn't have tested out.
That would be interesting to know if that worked, yeah. Safety feature that you may have found out about there. Do you have problems with coyotes and things like that quite a bit?
Yeah, that same place, the same area. We've had 2 dogs, and it be the dog that's in the city, the land that joins the city there, and there's a big subdivision, and I guess they come for table scraps or whatever. But that we do have a lot of problems, and I talk to different squirrel hunters that say their dogs has been chased all the way back to them with one. Our dogs, that's what they always do. They try to get back to us as fast as they can.
Because you got quite a bit of distance between you probably in certain cases.
Yeah.
You can't get to them.
She'd be right there next to us when we were hunting. Next thing you know, she was like 400 yards away. So they can cover some ground.
Yeah.
It amazes me.
Well, I'm interested to hear more about the shooting and this competition stuff that y'all used to get into. Tell us a little bit about that. Was it you said it was both rifle and archery and
bench rest rifles and the archery. You talk a little bit about the archery.
We done it for fun. We'd come down here to the park, shoot, just have a good time.
Yeah.
Here at Cherokee Park.
Yeah.
Just across the highway here.
Okay. There's an archery range there.
It was outdoor.
We went different places, just shooting for fun.
I know it's a big deal. A lot of people do it, and I think it'd be fun to get into and something to do with your family too. I'm sure.
Well,
it'd be
we
fun
did
to get
it.
everybody into it.
Family, and we got a lot of kids involved in doing it. So
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
a archery club started at Cherokee High School. They started it. Wayne Heron was the coach, and we kids that didn't have a bow, we come down to Tom's Sporting Good, and Radar, he would, cut them a real good break, or if it was an old one, he just gave it, and we helped the kids out that way too. We've been involved with kids for quite a while.
Do y'all have any kids yourself, and do y'all get out there with?
got one, and I've got 3 granddaughters.
All right.
They all like to hunt and fish.
Yeah, that's awesome. Passing it down, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they, let's see, all 3 of the girls, when they was 6, wasn't it 6? When they could start hunting 6? Mm-hmm. When they're 6, I videoed all 3 of them getting a buck when they're 6-year-old, and nice bucks, and that's just something I've got for me. And I've got several local kids on video getting their first deers. Yeah. And my mom was 92 when she started turkey hunting. And
When she started.
Yeah. She was 90 or 92, and she hunted plumb up till she was 95.
You showed me a picture, I think, of her with
Yeah.
a bird she'd killed there a few years back.
Yeah. So it's always been fun, and we've been involved in a whole lot of things like that. But the kids, that's where it lies. The kids. I'd like to see more kid-sponsored hunts, squirrel hunts and stuff, because I seen it at Chuck Swan. The dog handlers, they enjoyed it just as much, and they had a great turnout. I mean, there was never a kid that didn't have a handler to take them hunting.
Yeah.
We were probably up to, 50 or so kids, I think, the last time we
Yeah.
did it up there. And then COVID came, and unfortunately we hadn't been able to put that hunt back on at Chuck Swan. But that's where I met David and Glenda and several other good dog hunters that just volunteered their time. And it's a pretty good ways to get to Chuck Swan. You can't get there. You don't just wind up in Chuck Swan on accident.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of nowhere. So they volunteered a lot of time and expertise to take these kids hunting. Nothing but good has come from that. So
Yeah.
thank you all for what you've done.
Yeah.
And a lot of these dogs that I can't do nothing with, it amazes me what she can do. I was just a coon hunter, and a dog was a dog, and he done his job, and I done mine. I could not believe how this dog wants to please me. I could not believe how dogs have so big a different personalities, especially when you go to train them. And I believe anybody, any dog, anything could be trained with enough time. But a lot of the bloodline I'm telling you about, people got the dogs, got discouraged, and just didn't hunt them no more. And putting the time in means a whole lot, but having a good bloodline to start with means a lot too.
Yeah.
You said something maybe in that video. I think I asked you which one make the best dog, and you said the ones that's hunted the most. And
That's
it's
it.
as simple as that. That dog needs time in the field and repetition, or the best dog in the world could be a wash if
Yeah.
it doesn't get hunted.
Yeah. What made me know that this dog here wanted to please me is, and Matt's seen it too, when she trees, she'll lay down on her belly, and when she sees me coming, she'll just start patting both feet as hard as she can against the ground. And I don't believe it, to be honest with you. I've had horses, and the guy told me every horse I had after that, I would compare my first one, and I'd never have one that suited me. So, as the old squirrel hunters say, the good ones get old too fast. And when this one gets old, I don't believe I'll ever have another one to suit me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a family member you grow to love, and it just becomes part of the family.
I've had people far as away as Atlanta. There was a guy came in and worked on our air compressors here about a month ago. We got new ones at work, and he came in and he said, "Man, I seen you on a video." I said, "Where you from?" He said, "Atlanta." I said, "Okay."
Who would have thunk it?
Movie stars.
So starting a dog, I know you've talked about it a little bit, but to say somebody wanted to get into this and they was lucky enough to find the dogs, they're hard to come by from
Yeah.
what I gather. What should they do? They don't know the first thing about training a squirrel dog. What's step number one?
Step number one, if you don't know and you got any question about what you're fixing to do, don't do it, because dogs are different. You've seen kids, y'all dealt with your own kids. There's kids you can scold and that's all they need. There's kids that you can ground, and that's all. Well, dogs are the same way. You can have a dog, a puppy. I'm learning. I'm not an expert, but the dog can be started, and it can be treeing. And you can do one little thing different. Maybe they're not settling down on the tree, and you might scold them or do something different. It'll take you another 2 or 3 weeks to get you back where you was at before that. Because when I get after one and it's not done what I want it to do. And the shock collars are absolutely wonderful. But 9 times out of 10, you don't need to use them because, again, if you don't know, there's many cases I've seen a dog tree and you'd say, they ain't nothing there, they can't be nothing there. And then you look at the bottom and it's hollow and there's its little tail hanging out, So those are great if you know how to use them, because I believe there's been many dog messed up with them because the dog was actually doing something good and you thought it was doing something bad. But most of the time, if I get after one and it sires or goes backwards, I just hand it to her and let her take it. If I can't get them to come, I just hand it to her. She's the one that can get the obedience. It was the same way with her child, wasn't it? She was the obedience, I was the play toy.
What I'm seeing right here, too, is a lot of people think that a hunting dog should only hunt and not be a family dog, but this thing's in your lap, it loves you to death. There needs to be that bond.
Yeah. I found out most of these world champions are house dogs. House dogs.
There's the secret.
Yeah, they like to be right there with you. Well, this has been fun. I've learned a lot. It's amazing. I'd love to get out in the woods and experience the hunt with you guys.
I can't wait.
It's a lot to talk about it. It's fun to talk about it, but it's even better to experience it, I'm sure.
And it's a lot. It's a whole lot better when you got your best buddy with you too.
That's what it's all about. That's awesome.
So in this dry season, real quick, is there a difference in how you hunt? Are the squirrels less active or harder to find?
Leaves, after it rains this evening, maybe the leaves are really coming off fast, but every squirrel hunter I know is wishing his life away. They can't wait for the leaves to be gone.
Okay.
Yeah, and when the leaves are on like that, most people will hunt with a shotgun because it's about impossible to get them with a rifle, but we don't care if we tree 1 or we tree 100. That doesn't matter to us. We just want to have fun.
All right. Whether you tree 3 or 100, it's all about having fun. Get out there, enjoy the great outdoors. Yes. David, Glenda, appreciate y'all being with us.
Thank you.
Matt, thank you for lining all these shows up. This one's especially, it's been fun.
Sir. Yeah, it always inspires me, ready to hit the road and go hunting.
Yeah, let's get outside. It's the time of year to be outdoors.
Yes, sir.
Get out there and enjoy it. This is Tennessee WildCast. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, it's all about Tennessee wildlife. It's what we do. Tennessee WildCast will be on the air again next week. We'll see you then.